Hi everybody, my name's Doug, and this is Proto Scale HO Backshop. On this video, I am going to compare the volume and the sound quality of several different iPhone speakers for your sound-equipped locomotives. Now, I just want to put a little disclaimer in here. There's no company on the market right now that uses iPhone speakers in their sound-equipped locomotives. There's probably some kind of trademark agreement that would be infringed upon there. This is something you're going to have to do on your own. Install these in your own sound-equipped locomotives. You guys stay tuned, and we'll get right to it. Okay, in case you can't read the numbers from left to right, I have an iPhone 4, that's that long one on the left there, and then a single iPhone 5 speaker, then a double iPhone 5 speaker, then a single iPhone 5C speaker, then a double iPhone 5C speaker, and so on. 6, double 6, 6S Plus, 7, and 8. Now, I didn't double these up because we just want to get an idea of how they sound when they're doubled up. There's really no need to do it for these last three. Okay? So, let's get started. We'll start with 4, and we'll see what it sounds like. In my opinion, iPhone speakers, and you can get them through eBay, they're real easy to get. Make sure you get original equipment manufactured speakers, though. There are some knockoffs out there, and you got to be careful. Make sure they say OEM. All right? They sound phenomenal in our sound equipped locomotives. They really do. And if you don't like one in there, double it up. As long as your sound decoder can handle it, you can double them up. These are 8-ohm speakers, I believe. So when you double them up, you're either going to get 8 ohms or 16, depending on how you wire them. Okay? Okay, the first speaker is the iPhone 4 speaker. Now, a little bit about this speaker. This one all these sound pretty good. All the iPhone speakers sound pretty good. Some sound better than others, okay? But they all sound pretty good. Some give you deeper bass, some give you higher ting-tings, higher frequencies. They all sound pretty good. At the end of the video, I'll tell you which one I think sounds the best by sitting here, because I tell you, the sound that you hear is going to be dependent on the camera that I'm using, the decoder that I'm using. These speakers don't sound quite as good on older decoders because the amplifiers, the circuitry is not as updated or whatever. You get what I'm saying, right? Okay, so let's turn this one on. Alright, now this is just set at the standard default settings of this decoder. This is a TCS Wow Sound Diesel 121. 21 pin. Alright, you got to put some drag on the motor for it to... There it comes. The decoders don't work exactly the same on this machine as they do, in a real locomotive. There it goes. It's taking off now. go. It's up there. Alright, so there's the motor. Let the motor calm down a little bit. And then we will check out the bell. I say, this is one of the ones that sounds better than some of the others. If you double them up, they sound even better. I'm pretty sure these are 8 ohm speakers, all of them. So if you double them up in series, you get 16 ohms of impedance. Most decoders should be able to handle that. And you can see, I'll show you where the sound's coming out. The sound is coming out from this little hole right here. And this is the baffle. This is the chamber, the sound chamber. So they say you can cut these in half. Take half of this off and it'll still sound, you know, good. And that's true. It doesn't sound quite as good though. So if you can fit the whole thing in your speaker, in your locomotive, I would. Here's the quill whistle. Like I said, when you double them up, they sound even better. If you can fit it. If you can't, just use one. Okay, the other thing is, it depends on where in the locomotive you're putting these to. You can use the shell of the locomotive to increase the baffle, the sound of it as well. Okay, so you'll find that in certain areas, like when I put them in the cab roof, the roof of the cab, all that area in the cab area acts as a baffle. All right, you have to study sound transference and all that other kind of stuff. If you really want to get into this, there's a lot of videos out there that'll cover a lot of the different aspects of putting a speaker in a locomotive and which one to use. These iPhone speakers are cheap. You can get them for anywhere from $2 to $5 a piece. They're cheap, and they sound great. Okay, this is an iPhone 5 speaker, a single. I have a double one too. We'll do that one next. But here's the single. So let's turn it on. I'm going to turn them all the way up to speed step 60. Okay, we'll get it revved up. Now it's changing gears. Alright, that's revved up pretty good. Now let it chill out a little bit. See, the bell doesn't sound quite as good with this one. It sounds okay. When they're in the locomotive, they usually sound better too. There's the quilled whistle. Alright, so okay, so these are, I'm just going through the major sounds, you know, the stuff that you really can hear, not, you know, not compressors and stuff like that. You'll hear all that, but these are like the major sounds, right? Alright, so that's iPhone 5 speaker. Okay, now this one is a double iPhone 5. There's two of them together in series. Alright, so you got 16 ohms of impedance here. if it's an 8 ohm speaker. I'm not going to say I'm definitely sure. It could be a 4 ohm speaker. When you do them in series, it doubles. So if you do two 4 ohm speakers, you got 8 ohms of impedance. You do two 8 ohm speakers together in series. Now, parallel, that's something different. Okay? But in series, that's what I usually do. I do them in series. You do 8s together, it's 16 ohms. And usually the most of the newer decoders can handle that just fine. Alright? The wattage too. I haven't had any problems. I haven't blown anything. I haven't messed anything up. And I use all the major brands, Soundtracks, TCS, Lock Sound, that kind of stuff. Alright? Alright, so let's see what we got here. Turn it on. One thing I want to note here, sometimes when you buy them off of eBay, wherever you buy them, sometimes you get a dud. This one here is a dud. This is an iPhone 5. I hooked it up and it crackles. It's a dud. It's blown, or the voice coil's bad, or whatever. Okay, it happens. All right, not often, but it does happen. That's two of them together. Isn't that crazy? Like I said, inside of a Locomotive shell, they usually sound better. It depends on where you put them. At the very least, they're going to sound the same. Try not to block the sound. Put it in an area where the sound can at least get out. Usually it can. Usually no problem. That's like super loud. I would actually turn the volume on this one down. Look how it skates along the top of the bench here. Yeah, that thing's putting out some sound. Crazy. Alright, so that's iPhone 5 doubled. You really don't need it. One of them sounds good, but I tell you, if you really want some awesome sound, double them up. Try it. This is all experimental. I'm just giving you what they actually sound like now, Okay, this is iPhone 5C. An iPhone 5C speaker. These sound pretty good. Now this is one of the better sounding ones in my opinion. You double it up, they sound even better. Alright, iPhone 5C. Okay, now this one is a double iPhone 5C. And you can play with the volumes and whatnot to get the best sounds possible. Crazy. Alright, now on purpose with these iPhone 5C speakers, when you cut the leg off of them, here's one of the legs, right? I cut all the extraneous bullcrap off of them, okay? When you cut off something, sometimes it cuts into the sound chamber. So what I did was, it sounded okay, right? But I plugged them up with some liquid electrical tape, right? So I plugged the holes. It's dried a little bit now. So let's see if it sounds any different. So we tried it with the holes not plugged. Now they're plugged up. Okay. Now you can immediately hear the difference, but let's see. It's a huge difference. You got to plug those holes up. If you cut something off, a lot of times it'll eat into the sound chamber and create a hole there, and they won't sound as good. So I did that on purpose. These sound really good. These 5Cs. Between all the speakers, I generally use the 5Cs and the 8s more often than anything else. 5Cs, I really love them. They seem to work pretty much the best for me. But we'll go through. I might change my mind after this test. Alright. I'm being careful not to let anything, the wires cross and stuff. You let the wires cross, you're going to blow the decoder. At least the amplifier. Here is an iPhone 6 single. iPhone 6 single. Now you might be saying, hey, they all sound the same. I don't know. It depends on how discerning your ear is. You know? I can definitely tell the difference between certain ones. So, alright, see what we got. Alright, now I can already see, I think, when I cut the leg off of this one, I didn't plug up the hole. So let me see what we got here. Yeah, I can see it's got to be plugged up. So let's listen to it without it plugged up, and then with it plugged up. So let's listen to it now. We're just going to do the horn. That doesn't sound bad, but it's kind of crackly. I think that's because that hole needs to be plugged. Alright, so let me plug that hole and see what we get next. Okay, now I plugged the hole in this iPhone 6 speaker. Let's see what this sounds like now. I can tell a difference. Now this one's got slightly better high, high tones than some of the other ones. You always tell when you click that bell button and you can hear it real well, nice and high, then that speaker sounds better in that range. Okay, there's that one. Alright, now the next one's going to be a double iPhone 6. Okay, this is a double iPhone 6. This is one of my favorites too. This really has a wide range of tonal quality to it. I mean, it gets the highest highs and the low lows. So if you got the room, double iPhone 6 is a good choice. Real high highs. I have not adjusted the volumes at all. This is just default settings on this decoder. Alright, pretty good, huh? Alright, that's good. One of my favorites. Okay, this is from an iPhone 6s Plus. Now, I gotta remember, just because it comes out of a better phone, doesn't mean it's a better speaker. For this application, anyway. This is where the sound comes out, right here. These are all designed to be full range loudspeakers for phones. So I tell you, it's the application we're using them in, full range sounds, sound locomotive. Yep, perfect application for these speakers, I think. Okay, that's the 6S Plus. Okay, this is an iPhone 7 speaker. iPhone 7. I didn't do the double on the 6S. It's just no need. You can just figure out how that's going to sound. Okay, the 6S Plus, the 7, and the 8 I did not double. Okay, you got a good idea of doubling them from the first 3 or 4. Look this one over. Nope, that's good. I thought there might be a hole in it. Doesn't sound quite as good as the other ones. It's okay. I mean, it sounds pretty good. But I mean, if this is all you can get, put one of these in. Not bad. It'll sound even better if you double it up. There's also another dimension to this you have to consider, is that some of these are smaller than others too. Like the 5 and the 5C are really small, and they'll fit into tighter areas. The 6, the 6S Plus are a little bigger, a little longer. Here's a 6S Plus, longer, right? Than say a 5. Here's a 5. There's a 6S Plus. So I hope you can see that. Okay. The 6S Plus, a little bit longer than a 5. Okay. They're all about the same thickness, give or take. Alright, there's the iPhone 7 speaker. The last one we're going to do is the iPhone 8. The iPhone 8. That one will be next. Okay, here's the iPhone 8. Yeah, sounds pretty good. And like I said, generally, when you actually put them in the locomotive, they sound even better. Alright, I thought I would double up an iPhone 8 and show you what that sounds like, because I like that pairing too. I like that iPhone 8 too. It seems like it's got a slightly better range of tonal quality than the 5C or the 6. I could be mistaken. I've been listening to these things for the last hour and a half, so Yeah, see, that's nice and clear. Really high highs or low lows. The engine sounds good. Yeah, I think this sounds every bit as good as a 6 and a 5C. And it's almost as small as the 5C.
Night mode active. Sound mode active.
I like these iPhone speakers. Thank you. Okay, so let's just do a little, discussion at the end here. I'll give a recommendation, I guess. So, in my opinion, the 5C, the 6, and the 8 sound the best. However, across the board, all of these iPhone speakers sound great, and they cost nothing. I mean, like I said, I'll average it out. I paid $2.50, $3 for each one of these. That's a lot cheaper than some of these Sugar Cube speakers that are on the market now. But they sound good too. I don't want to take it. I'm going to do another video on how some of these other speakers are sounding too. There's another thing you should consider as well. Just make sure if you're going to put iPhone speakers in your sound equipped locomotives, that your particular sound decoder can run them. Alright? Just make sure that your sound decoder has enough power to run them. In my opinion, all the ones that I use, there's no problem. Soundtracks, no problem. Lock Sound, no problem. TCS, no problem. Okay? Also, if you're going to use an older sound decoder, just know this, they won't sound quite as good. And some of them actually sound terrible with some decoders, because they just don't have enough power to drive them. Okay. I'm also going to ask you guys, if you would, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to set it up so it's easy to do. You just kind of click on the subscribe icon on every video. I'm going to try to do that. If not, just try to locate the subscribe button at the beginning of the video or whatever on the channel information and subscribe, please. Like, share, all that good stuff. This is a brand new channel, and I'm going to try to grow it into something that we can all be proud of. Thank you. By all means, the comment section is for you guys. If you have particular experiences that I don't have or didn't show on the video, go ahead, put them in the comment section. I'd like for you guys to get involved and say, hey, look, I like those iPhone speakers, but here's another speaker I think's really great if you can fit it in, or it's small enough, blah, 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 right? So go ahead and use those comments. I am just happy to hear from anyone on the comment section. That way we can make this channel something that is, interactive. This is that Proto 2000 PA unit. It's got a TCS Wow Sound diesel decoder, a double iPhone 5C speaker. So it's two of those iPhone speakers. And a Keep Alive 4. And we'll see how that puppy, there it is. We'll see how that puppy sounds. This is the next one I'm going to do. This is a Challenger Imports, Chesapeake and Ohio steam engine. So I'll pull that one out. I don't know if it's going to be the next video. It may. Alright, here's the shell for that PA unit. Okay guys, this is Doug from Protoscale HO Backshop. Thanks for watching.